A beauty dressed in black and gold stands before you, her eyes closed and one hand held delicately to her chest. She sways softly, silently, as though she were listening to music you can't hear. The silence is so long and profound that you begin to notice just how noisy your house is. You can hear your clock ticking, your refrigerator humming, and your air conditioning blasting. Has it always been so loud around here? The silence persists, and this stranger continues to ignore you, lost in her own world. Whatever it is that she's doing, she's clearly very serious about it. She continues to stand in stark silence, unmoving, for what feels like an eternity. But eventually she finally opens her eyes, taking a grand sweeping bow after.
The end. How was that? Why, the piece I just performed. That was Door 33. Surely you recognized it. It's an avant-garde piano piece, 33 seconds long, by the composer John Gage. Honestly, the man was a genius. I mean, the idea that music can exist without the presence of a single note. Breathtaking. You know, the very first time I played it was when I was in residence with the Dulce Mio. You two have met, I'm assuming? Anyway, our audience that night was completely hopeless. They all kept waiting for the music to start, as if they couldn't already hear it. A rustling program, a muffled cough. It was all being performed in real time, but they kept staring at Dulce and I like we were the Philistines. Still, it was one of my finest performances to date. It also didn't hurt that Dulce had requested to work with me specifically. I can't tell you just how often that seems to happen. The talent always just seems to flock to me. Speaking of, what is that bizarre little refrain you've been playing over and over as you pass by my keyboard? It almost seems like music. Very atonal. Valdivian, is he a composer? I must hear his concertos when you have the time. Well, whatever you are playing, I look forward to its evolution. So long, maestro. Maestro, are you here to listen to me perform? Unfortunately, I have nothing to perform today. Nothing is quite ready in my repertoire. On to more pressing matters though. I was hoping we could discuss my rider. I'm sure it's not your fault, seeing as how we've never worked together, but there are certain things I require if I'm expected to give a great performance. For starters, I was hoping for a little help with Hoove. You know the gentleman goes around cleaning the house with his vacuum hose, makes a terrible racket. Please tell Hoove that he needs to do something about the dust. It's awful for my pedals. Any more of it and they'll begin to stick. I really did try to explain this to him, but the language barrier was just insurmountable. I'll need a bit of help with Hector too, I'm afraid. Could you please talk to him about the temperature? I need it at a firm 20 degrees, or it's going to wreak havoc on my tuning. Yes, the only true way to measure hotness, coldness, or lack thereof. I couldn't imagine any other way. Honestly, I think my accent got in the way again. Same with Lux. I like to be lit a certain way. Everyone around here does seem to be a little... Oh, there's no better way to say it. Unrefined. Speaking of, do we have a lighting designer on staff? That's all right. I was somewhat prepared for this. My friend Celeste was on a loan to a community theater once, and she told me all about their adorable little budgets. Now, if it's all right with you, I'd like to get back to rehearsal. Please do let me know what everyone says. I'm eager to jump into our work once the issues are addressed. Adieu.
You look like you have something on your mind, my beauty. Ha! Of course you do. 20 degrees, could you imagine? What? The nerve. Perhaps. I have a converter around here somewhere, but still, she needs to treat us lowly objects a little less like a baroness. Now then, what was I going to say before this interruption? Here you are.
Lux is primping for some imaginary audience when you find them, striking pose after pose. When they see you, they roll their eyes, pausing to address you.
What, you're on a quest or some shit? Oh, yeah, she wants better lighting. Need I point out the total disregard for what I might be doing? Ugh, the utter self-absorption of that request. I mean, if Keys wasn't such a total diva, she might have checked my latest posts. Then she would know that I am super busy with this update on my second snack of the afternoon. But fine, whatever. I guess I'm just that essential. Bye.
Yo, what's up? Man, the nerve on that instrument. She thinks she's so fancy that she wants me to pay special attention to cleaning her feet. That's not a vacuum's job. It's her own damn fault no one wants to play her anymore. If she were nicer, there wouldn't be any dust. Sorry, I just get worked up when people have attitude. Tell her I ain't interested.
Oh, good. I was hoping you'd be back soon. Any progress on my rider? They've done everything I've asked? It doesn't seem like it. You know, this is just like the time I got the lead part in La Vedova, and all the woodwinds pretended they were congested just to take away from my moment. Professional jealousy. That's what this is. You know what? It doesn't even matter. I won't be here for much longer. How far along are you with your composition? The sooner you're done, the sooner I can get back to my department. What agreement did you have with the music department when they let you collect me? What on earth? My understanding was that they loaned me out to an emerging composer in the theater department, you, to be returned at the completion of your project. No one needed to say anything. Why else would the music department loan out their star performer? Besides, you're obviously an immensely talented artist. I mean, this space alone is perfect. Oh, absolutely. I've never seen a set fully capture the bleak existence of a lonely American working from home. That was a compliment, Maestro. It's a phenomenal set. I'm sure it's serving up all kinds of inspiration. Or did you build it to actually be a part of your performance? Immersive theater is having such a resurgence. I always said it would. Now, are you thinking the audience will wander from room to room as we play, or will you have them do that prior to the performance? You really haven't shared much about the production with me. I don't believe you. Did the music department lend me to you or not? What is that? German? What's a handmade down?
She gasps, placing a hand to her chest.
Oh, wait, don't tell me. It's an award, isn't it? Some sort of lifetime achievement? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to be a Hanem Down recipient. Hanem Down. You know, it's the strangest thing, but it sounds like you're saying, hand me down. But that's not German at all. I'm so confused.
Keys stares at you, unblinking and silent. You can almost see the gears turning inside her head.
What flavor? I had a freshman who used to stick cherry-flavored gum to my underside every time he came into practice. I agree. It was free gum, after all. Deeply cherry. My flavor speaks to the muses above. That's unhygienic. Wherein I am the chewing gum? But that implies the music department no longer had any use for me. But that makes no sense. I worked there for 15 years. I was a star performer, and now I just don't work there anymore? All right. So when does a hand-me-down technically get handed back up? And you're sure you're not a composer? Because you trail around in your robe and underwear quite a bit. That's not part of some creative process? Though the fantastic red shirt you wear does strike me as rather artistic. All right, you don't have to be a composer. Perhaps you're a wealthy connoisseur of the arts? Only someone who isn't would say something so gauche. So, what you're telling me is that not only did I get handed down without my knowledge, I also have no job, no musical prospects, no financial prospects. You're not a composer, and this is my home now.
Keys gives you a pleasant smile.
Fantastic. Would you please excuse me? I'm going to go scream in the highest octave I can manage. Why, hello there, maestro. Yes, perfectly fine now. I've decided that I will be writing my own music instead. There's no reason for me to waste away in obscurity just because I was forcibly retired. I'm equipped, I have the training, and I have the discipline. Why shouldn't it be me? I've decided to channel my rage into a program piece. I'm calling it Keys Piano Sonata No. 1 in D minor, Capriccio Infernal. Merely following classical naming conventions. It follows the goddess Piana, the most favored daughter of the sky god, as she's unfairly cast from the heavens down into the mortal realm. I just started working on the first movement. That's where we'll meet the characters, establish musical themes, etc. Right now, Piana has just woken up in a forest to find her wings bloody and broken. She stumbles to the nearest village, but none of the people there will assist her, despite the fact that she did ask very nicely and is very pretty. It would appear that they are jealous of her status as a deity. This would be program music. The themes and developments happen through the use of leitmotifs and tell a preconceived story, in contrast to absolute music, which is more abstract. Of course you did, Maestro. So now, Piana's trapped in the mortal realm, far away from everyone she holds dear. This all happens in the first part of the sonata, the exposition. I think I'd like to build on the sinister theme in the second movement. Right now, it's all lacking a bit of bite. Leave me. I have composing to do, and I need my space. I'd like to be upgraded to another room, please. Up until recently, only 3 things. As of this morning, I've discovered a 4th. Of course. Do you think I'm picky about which room I'm in? About the environment? A liar, then. No, the 4th wrong thing here is, well, it's Telly. He's in my direct line of sight, and that simply won't work for me. He's a menace, a distraction, and he's sabotaging my sonata. Do you know what he did this morning? You try holding a tune in your head with all of that color and sound flashing at you. Before I was even fully awake, I'd been subjected to a breakfast show. Subjected to a breakfast show? That's very bad. There was quippy banter, a cooking segment, and a human interest story about a 3-legged crossing guard dog named Champ. Then came the local news, where I learned that apparently there's a cat burglar on the loose. After the local news, I had to watch a game show, then a 2-dimensional cartoon. Nowhere was there any of the classics being played. Nowhere was there a piano, cello, no harp to be found. In fact, the entire time this was happening, there were non-stop commercial breaks for the same payday loan company, which can only mean one thing. It is the lowest form of musical composition I have ever heard. But then once I just have the mattress jingle stuck in my head, it's fine, because that wasn't even the worst part of my day. The worst part of my day happened with the opening notes of that inane soap opera, Sands of Time. It was the most ridiculous 40 minutes of my life. Time I could have been using to write my sonata. There was seduction, scandal, and this lady named Charlene pushed her twin off a cliff and then went home to sleep with her husband. The twin's husband. The sister. The dead sister. Who turned out not to have died from the cliff, which just seems impossible. I can't believe I spent my entire day on this nonsense. What? No! I did. It was the most fun I've had in a while, and it had nothing to do with music. Also, I'm not sure what it means that I neglected my sonata to watch television all day. And now I'm going to be forced to watch Sands of Time tomorrow as well to find out what's going to happen next. I feel hoodwinked. Soap opera has the word opera in it, but it isn't musical at all. Do you think Telly would let me watch the next episode tomorrow? But we're not really friends, and I'm a complete stranger to him. Everyone here already knows each other. And then what?
She nods slowly.
Be friendly. I've had colleagues I admire to the point of crippling jealousy. That's kind of like being friends. No. God, no. You don't root for the competition. You rip off their heads and paint the inside of your soundboard with their blood. Good. I don't want to do that with Telly though, but I'm not sure how to go about it. Isn't that a little creepy? I've never even talked to him. And if I'm not, what a great help you are. If he says it's all right and I can watch a few more shows, do I have your permission to do that before I get back to my sonata? I'm not sure. My days at the music department were always so busy. It just seems like I should be asking someone before I spend hours doing nothing. Perhaps I will for a little while. Thanks, Maestro. Ah, it's you. Hello. I think it went well. I wasn't sure where to start, so I just told him how much I'd enjoyed watching all the shows I'd watched. And, well, everything after that came pretty easily. We talked about the house and Sands of Time. He even gave me a few plot pointers for my sonata. It does, doesn't it? Would one say that he and I are friends now? Or is there a ritual at this point to complete the process? A start. Like the exposition in a sonata form. I think I realized something else while I was talking to Telly. That I might like to be friends with you as well, if you'll have me. If we are, then I'm afraid I haven't been very good to you. Telly was telling me about this documentary on landfills and how people throw away all kinds of things, including pianos. I know you aren't the composer you led me to believe you were. I know you aren't the composer you led me to believe you were. But I'm glad that I'm sitting here instead of on a pile of trash and severed limbs. Yet, I can always teach you. After my sonata. Anyway, I stand before you now, declaring my thanks and announcing my intention to be a friend to you. Did I do that right? You're supposed to announce your intention to be friends? I hope they all do. Can I ask you a personal question? Why didn't you get something new and shiny? Why a hand-me-down? Thank you for saying that. Well, I have a soap opera to catch up on and a sonata to write. I'll see you around, friend. Oh my goodness, I always get so fluttery when you come by. Could I run something by you for the sonata? I'm afraid I've hit a bit of a creative wall. It's nothing technical. I'd just like a second opinion. When we last left off, Piana, famous and beautiful Shan goddess, had been traveling the mortal realm trying to find a way back home. The charlatan magician she'd first sought out is now accompanying her, by the way. The magician knows the realm and its inhabitants better than Piana could ever hope to, and as such has helped Piana make personal connections. As it turns out, the magician isn't terrible company. Piana has come to enjoy his chats as they travel along, but this is where I hit a wall. The story has always been about Piana getting back home. Action, adventure, vengeance. But I've been toying with the idea of a romantic subplot between the magician and piano. There's one more thing. I'd like to lodge a formal complaint against another member of the household. It's against Rainy. Yes, we are cut from different cloths, but both musical in nature. She was playing something classical the other day. There was a piano part. As resident piano, that should have been my responsibility. My role was usurped, and I'd like to place the record in question on the list of banned music. The other option, of course, would be to have her play the record over and over again. Yes, that would be fantastic. Oh, I don't know. Old habits die hard. I'll go introduce myself. Thanks for the kind ear. Have you ever got so swept up in your walk you completely lost all sense of time? Then you'll understand my excitement. I finished the concerto!
She holds a small booklet out to you, beside herself with excitement.
After spending time with Rainy, I came back and sat down, and it all just poured out of me. From sonata to concerto, a true repartee between solo piano and a full orchestra of friends. My very vast composition, fully complete. I've played it a few times from start to finish, and it's safe to say that I don't hate it at all. It's captured everything I wish to put to music. I was hoping to, but do you think anyone would want to hear me play? I'm afraid I may have been something of a diva when I first arrived. But I did apologize to Hoove, Lux, and Hector. Then, here we go. I'll go get dressed.
And away we go! Time to see the show! Though hearing music without a screen seems a little obscene. Ah, damn, Telly. No wild rhyming during the old school music. Remember what happened last time.
A concerto. I can't remember the last time I heard one of those. I hope this is better than those modern concerts that Bodhi used to put on.
Finally, I get to sit down for a bit and take in a performance.
I detest music, but I do like costumes.
I'm so happy to be parked in my very own corner. The best seat in the house.
Keys is dressed in a floor-length gown that makes her look even more elegant and grand than she already does. She is absolutely stunning. Rainy enters just after her, dressed in a charming tuxedo.
Here you go, honey. I've brought my finest duds and my highest quality speakers to capture all those dynamics you classical musicians want to hear.
Thank you, friends, for everything. Excellent. So am I. Rainy.
On me. And...
Keys and Rainy begin to play, each in beautiful harmony with the other. You sit back to take in the waves of music. You listen as long as you like, allowing the music to wash over you and transport you into Key's fantastic world.
Thank you for letting me sing at last. How was that? From start to finish. I couldn't have done it without you. You made me feel at home. Or rather, you gave me a home. I don't know if you noticed, but I made some changes to the narrative. Piana ends up staying in the mortal realm with the magician. You were the inspiration for the magician, by the way. You didn't pick up on that. I knew I hit it well. Did you like what I did with Piana and the magician's relationship? And what about the real Piana and her magician? Do they make a great match? I think I want to write a lot more pieces about them. Maybe we can even play it together. My love. Gotcha.